Hi everyone. This screencast is to go over your major paper for this semester for this college class. And I unfortunately we're still required to do this as part of the course through Ivy Tech. So I'm trying to make this as reasonable as possible through this long distance learning right now through this e-learning. And if there's anything I could do to help that, please let me know. So, excuse me. Okay, so this document goes over what your requirements are for this. Um, and what you're going to do is analyze a theme in one of the three major works that we've read so far this semester. You can do the Kite Runner, A Raisin in the Sun, or Persepolis. But I have provided you with a lot of resources for the Kite Runner. If you want to do extra research for one of the other works, be my guest, but you don't have to. And I'm just going to be dying yawning so far, so that's great. I can only get stuff like this done after my kids go to bed, so here I am, up late, probably like some of the rest of you. Okay, so as part of this, you need to use scholarly sources to analyze that work and to support your own analysis. And you are then writing a paper to analyze how the author developed that theme in their work. Your paper needs to be 6 to 8 pages long. That is double space, Times New Roman, 12-point font. This includes your works cited page. And you need to cite at least 4 sources in your paper in addition to your primary source. So that means 4 sources and then the book. And so you need to use evidence from the book as well. Okay, this goes over the skills that we're working on through this project. I'm not going to read those to you. There's also a link to the rubric that you'll be graded on, so you can go to that if you want to. Okay, I have provided all your sources for you, and I also just spent the last hour making sure that they're in proper MLA format for you, so you are welcome. You only need to use 4 of these, so it's your choice what you want to do. You're going to need to develop a theme statement about the work, so choose the sources that you think are most helpful for your theme statement. I wouldn't pick a theme statement right now until after you look at some of the sources because you're going to need to use the sources to support your theme statement, so they probably won't work with any theme statement about the work. Even if it's a good theme statement, you're still going to want to have the works to support it and not just the novel. Okay, again, if you want to do work on the Ivy Tech library site and you want to find other sources for one of the other works, that's fine. But if you want to use the Kite Runner and want to use the works that I've provided, that's fine too. Okay, I also have a bunch of resources for you here. I have a modeled annotated paper, and next week I'm going to provide a video tutorial that goes over that. But if you want to see what that's supposed to look like already, you can go and look at that, and it's annotated, so it has my notes on it already that you can look at. I'm just going to kind of read over those notes for the video, but sometimes that's a little more helpful. Okay, I then have a link to rhetorical verbs. You need to use these rhetorical verbs in your claims and in your explanation. You are creating an argument about how the author develops a theme in their work. And so that's something that an author's actively doing as they're writing their book. So your focus needs to be on what the author is doing in the text. Again, you're analyzing it. You're not summarizing it. You're not telling us what one of the characters is going through in the book. You are making an argument about what theme the author is developing. So you need to be using those rhetorical verbs. So I have a list there for you to use. Please go back and use those when you're working on your claims and your explanation. I also have a handout that you can use about summarizing, paraphrasing, and quoting from the text if you still feel like you kind of struggle on when to use that, which one, then please use that handout. I also have a handout there on transitional phrases. It's a cheat sheet. You know that oftentimes I have that up on the board for you, so you can go back and refer to that. I also have several links for just MLA style reviews. There's stuff on MLA format, stuff on in-text citations. things on the Works Cited page. So you can go back and reference those links if you want to. And again, if you go to my modeled paper that I have, there's some examples there as well too. Oh my goodness. Okay. I also have a link on how to avoid first person. So you want to avoid first person, but if you're having trouble getting rid of I, that resource has some advice on that. And then I have a link to an editing checklist that I would advise you to make use of. I'm going to set a due date for these papers in May. You're going to have extra time to work on these. However, starting in the last week of April, so not next week, but the week after that, we're going to start reading our last novel together. But if you want to wait until May to turn in your paper for this, that's fine. If you want to turn it in earlier to get feedback from me, that's fine too. So I hope this overview helps you. In my next tutorial, I'm going to talk specifically about your outline so you can get an idea of that. Thanks, everyone.